Mum,
Okay, so I'm now recording.
he's playing with my stuff.
Why is he playing with your stuff for?
I don't want him to. Just let him.
He's just gonna stress you out. Play with something else.
Just don't be selfish.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna end this slideshow and share my Eventbrite. Right. So just a quick question. If you can just write down in the chat or just let me know, do either of you have any experience with Eventbrite? Okay, right. So what I do, I start from the beginning. So Eventbrite's pretty cool. It's a little bit like Meetup, and you can use it to publicize your events. And much like Canva, you've got a free version and you've got a paid version. So in terms of Canva, if you use the paid version, it unlocks a whole load of extra features. And with Eventbrite, when you say paid version, what that basically means is that anything you publicize, it's a bit like doing paid content on Google or Facebook. It reaches out to a wider audience. So yeah. Did someone say something there, or? Okay, yeah. So it reaches out to a wider audience. So my take on it is, depending on what kind of business you do, as your business grows, and every business should always have a marketing budget if you're thinking of it on a serious level, and within that marketing budget, Eventbrite is one of those things that you can consider. So anyway, but where we are at this point in this journey within this particular business that I'm doing, it's still relatively speaking early days. So I'm not worrying about a marketing budget as such just yet. And there's certain things that I can still do myself. So so it's free to register with Eventbrite. And once you've registered, you'll see here I've got a couple of events coming up already. But let's do it as if I'm starting from scratch, and I'm starting I'm trying to publicize an event that's coming up in the near future. So can you see my screen clearly? If we just write in the chat. Awesome. Right. Okay. So I start from scratch. So I just click on create in the top right. And you see that I can do an email campaign, I can do a paid ad, I can do a collection. I haven't explored these three yet. So all I've done so far is just focus on upcoming events. So I click on event. And one thing to bear in mind is, with some of the mentorship that I'm getting, it's this thing where, don't wait to be perfect at something before you get started. Just get started, and then you can learn as you go on. And especially because this is free and it's easy to, if you make a mistake, you can delete it. So you can kind of like learn as you're going along. So if you look on this, you will see that you're given an event title. So you just give it any title. So let's just say I want to call it this is how you right. This is how you get started with Eventbrite. So you just give it a title. And then from here, you've got the type of event that you're setting up. So because I've already done a few, it's pre-filled in these options, but you've got a drop down, so it could be all kinds of things. A festival, a party, a concert, all kinds of things. So you can fine tune it to the type of thing that you want it to be. And the better you fine tune it, the easier it is for people to find your event. And then along with that, you also have tags. Same thing again, you're using keywords. You can maybe compare it slightly to hashtags. And those are things that can help people to find your event as well. Okay, so you've got those options there. And then if I scroll down, So you see that I haven't used to be announced yet, but I suppose that's something you could use if you're thinking of doing something, you're not quite sure, but you just want to get started with setting up the event to create like a template. So here you've got venue or online events. So let's just say that we're doing a actual venue. Let's go for that option. So, but the one that I've tended to use so far has always been online events for my regular Thursday Zooms. So let's just do venue in this instance. And let's just say that I'm doing a replica of the event that's that be yourself and Devon, that you've kindly let me help you with the event that you're organizing on the 29th of July. So I think that's the address, but let me just confirm that. So if I just go to the flyer that we've been doing, where is it? Yeah, that's the address. Right, okay, so it's pre-filled in the address, where is it? Okay, yeah, so it's pre-filled in the address here. So I select it, and let's just say I'm doing a date and time. So you can do recurring events, or you can do a single event. So let's just say it's a single event. So you see that it's pretty straightforward. So the one that you're organizing, that's on the 29th of July. So let's just do that one again. Let's just pretend that, yeah, let's just do it for the 29th of July. It starts at, that's okay, I think if I remember right, it starts at 2 in the afternoon. And you can set an end time. So I can set it for late. But one nice thing that you can do, depending on the layout, the format of the event, you can hide the end time from the page that you put up. So you will know the end time on here, but you might not necessarily want to put the end time because you know, just in case it's something that you want to make sure people turn up on time. So maybe you don't put the end time on, so as a way of making it more likely that people turn up on time to the event. So you can untick that there. And if I move on here, by default, I've got English US, so I always change it to English UK. And then if I do save and continue. So because this is this is an informal thing, do you have any questions at this stage? I don't want to talk in and fly past if you've got any questions. So if you've got any questions, just let me know in chat. Okay, that's cool. Right, okay, so now, so another thing that you've got here, so when you get to the next stage, you've got this section where you can upload an image, or you can use Canva to create an image. So when you click on, so because we're talking about Canva as well, I can click design with Canva. And you see that it will automatically link with my existing Canva account. And what's good about that is because you're doing it directly from Eventbrite, the image size is already pre-formatted. So you don't need to fiddle around with the image ratio, because this, I've noticed in the past that this doesn't exactly match any other images that I've created. So it's quite useful to have that there. Obviously, because I've created a few by now, I'm familiar with the size. So what I can do, let's just say that I'm copying this, or let's just say that I'm copying this one here. So because this is the original thing and it's made up of individual components, you see that you've got all these little bits here. So so to copy it over, I'm going to cheat a little bit and do a print screen. And paste it into here. That's not the best way to do it, because when you grab a print screen, you don't necessarily get the edges correctly, but just for the purpose of demonstration, I'm just doing it that way for now. Okay, so once you do that, You know, so obviously if you were creating it, you'd be doing the components, but like I said, I'm just cheating in this instance. And you do save and return. So now you've got your image, image that's been embedded within Eventbrite, and you can move on to the next section. Now, another cool thing that you can do is, I've done this a couple of times in the past, is depending on the type of event, if you've already recorded any videos, you can potentially upload it to YouTube, and you can put the URL for that video in here. So that's a good way of publicizing something. And you never know, Devon, maybe that's something we can do later on. So if we have any images or video that we're able to do in the meantime, the Eventbrite invitation can be amended, and we can add that video in here to promote a bit more interest. Because as we know, video is always a great way to promote something. So you could put a YouTube video in here. And what else can you do? So you could do a summary. And what I actually did in this instant, I actually used ChatGPT to help me to choose a description and a summary for the event that we're doing. So rather than yeah, so yeah, it's pretty good. And then, you know, I made a few tweaks, but I used ChatGPT to help me with the text that I was using in the description of the original. But like I said, for this instance, this is going to be yes. Cool. Yeah, so I'm just typing rubbish in here just so that I can move on, because it won't let you go to the next stage until you've filled in these two sections here. So if I do, and depending on how refined you want to get, you can even do an agenda in here. So far, I've never used it, but you know, you do have the option there, and you can even include a frequently asked questions. I suppose that's more relevant with more intricate events, but it's nice to know that you have the option there as well. So if I just do save and continue. And if you can see the screen, you can see that on the left-hand side, all the sections that I've done already, you can see that they're ticked, but I'm always able to go backwards to amend something. So again, there's no need to be too afraid of making a mistake, because you can always go back, and there's quite about 4 or 5 stages before you get to the stage of clicking publish. So here we're in the ticket section. So here, and you can see here, you've got previous tickets that I've done, but let's just say I'm starting fresh. So I can click on create new tickets. So instead of using previous tickets as a template, I'm just doing create new tickets. So here, you see that there's an option to do paid tickets, free tickets, or a donation to a worthy cause. So in this instance, I'm selecting free, and I'm going to put down, let's just say it's an available quantity of 75, just a random number. Now, one of the mistakes that I made in the past, so if you remember, Devon, before when I was doing using Eventbrite to publicize my Zoom events, people were struggling to get in. And what I realized is because by default, the ticket sale closes at the time that the event starts. So if you're going to do a Zoom event that starts at 7 p.m. and people decide only start registering after 7 p.m, is not going to work, because the ticket sale availability automatically closes. So what you have to do is, now let me try and remember how you do this. So you need to make sure that, so let's just say, for example, the see automatically is going, if sale ends at 2 p.m, which will be the start time of the event. So what you can do is make the ticket sale end halfway through the event, or something like that. And then that gives people the ability to turn up late. So that's one of the mistakes I made earlier on when I was doing these events. Okay, so let's just say it's on the, okay, so let's just say that it's finishing a bit later. So I can do, so tickets are available all the way to late into the evening. So like I said, that takes away the problem of people not being able to register after the event has started. And you can do a description. I don't normally, but just for the sake of it. And you can determine how many tickets each individual can purchase. So let's just say I make it that each individual can purchase a maximum of 2 each. And you see here it's an e-ticket, and I can click on save. Now, and that bit is now finished. But let's just say that I'm not happy with the ticket allocation, and I'm thinking, there's got to be more people coming than expected. So I can do edit capacity, and I can change that to 200. But even though I've changed the capacity, you see that what's visible to the potential guest who's attending, they can only see 75 tickets. So I can adjust that gradually over time to make visible however many I want to make visible. So even though there's a capacity of 200, I will only make it visible. I'll only make 100 tickets available. So that's a bit of cool flexibility that's available to you. Okay, any questions at this stage? You can just put it in the chat if you're on mute. Okay, that's cool. Right, so if I move on to the next stage. Okay, so this gives a preview. So this is going to give you a chance to have a preview of what the event's going to look like before you click on publish. So let's just say I click on here. So far we've had the admin view, and this shows what it's going to look like for anyone coming in who's looking at your event. So you see, this is what's available to them. And as I said before, it only shows the start time. It doesn't show the finish time, even though it's visible to you as the person creating it. And if you look on the top right, you can see what the desktop view is going to be. And if I click on here, that shows what it's going to look like to anyone who's looking at the event using a mobile phone. So that's quite a cool feature. So I'm going to close that. Okay, so now let's just say that something's happened, and let's see if it lets me do this. Let's just say something has happened, and let's see if I can do this. I don't know if I can amend it or if I have to do a fresh one, but let's have a quick look. Details. Okay, what I wanted to do is see if I can change it to an online event rather than a venue. So I'm just having a quick look around. Let's see if I go to basic details. Okay. Okay, now I think once you get to a certain stage, you can't do that. I was going to show you what to do if you're linking it with Zoom. I can do it in another presentation, or if you've got time, I can do a fresh one and show you an online version. So if you just put in the chat, if you want me to show you an online event as well. Okay, cool. So, right, so let's just say that I'm going to do an online Zoom style event. So I can go to events. And actually, yeah, it's probably just as well to do another one because it's kind of like a recap of what I've just been showing you. So let's just say that I'm create another one, event. Okay. This is the online version. Okay, so if I do type, what's that? Okay, yeah. I'm just going to put in any old rubbish. So just for the sake of filling it in. And I've got keywords here based on the type of event that I chose this time around. So you see that it can help you, but you can also add up to 10 keywords. So you don't have to use these ones. You can delete them and you can add some more. And as mentioned, you can have up to 4 of them. So this time for location, instead of being a venue, it's going to be an online event. Okay, and we're going to make it a single event as opposed to recurring. I have done recurring. It's a little bit fiddly. So because I've only done it once, I wouldn't call myself a guru of that, but single events are quite easy to do. Plus you can use previous events as a template to create new ones. So let's just say this is taking place. I just leave it on the date that's already there, 11th of August from 7 to 10. Again, I'm going to hide the end time of this event, and I'm always careful to change it to English UK. Sorry, that's spelling, not region. Yeah, because the region, yeah, so it does know my region already. It's just that I'm changing the spelling to English UK. Right, so if I do save, let's make sure I've done it, online event, save and continue. Okay, and I'm going to pick design with Canva again. Let's see if I can paste the old image. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm just going to print screen that again. Bear with me. Oh, okay. Okay, so if I just paste that in. Okay, save and return. So we've got the image. Okay, so move on to the next stage. So you see here, this is where you would add your Zoom account, or I suppose maybe there's an option to add something like WebEx or something like that, or maybe even Teams. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. So because I have a Zoom account, that's what I've been using. The other thing I'm not too sure about is I have a paid Zoom account. So I don't know if this works if you have a free Zoom account. So that would be something that you might potentially have to experiment with. But let's just say that it works with a free Zoom account as well. And to be honest, yeah, hopefully it does. So I click on add Zoom. And so you see here, it's, it's picked my Zoom account. and then I click next. So it's not too complex. It's fairly straightforward. So, and now although I have a paid account, I don't have the subscription level that lets me do webinars. So I can only do meetings. And because basically I'm a one-man band, so yeah, so I don't need to do webinars. And I've got here, so I can use a template from an existing Zoom meeting that I've done in the past, or I can create a new meeting. So for the sake of demonstration, if I do create a new meeting and I click compete. Now here, because we're using Zoom, you can create an additional flyer, but you see that the ratio here is very different. I've got it saved somewhere in Canva, but I haven't used it in a while, so I don't want to waste your time by looking. So you may have to experiment a bit to get the right ratio, but it's optional, so you don't have to do it. And because it's Zoom, if I wanted to, I could literally just click on that to start the meeting straight away, or I could just save and continue to move on to the next stage. So if I click save and continue, and anyone got any questions at this stage? If you let me know if you've got any questions, just say yes or no in the chat. Okay, yeah, what's your question? So feel free to unmute.
Now, I have to ask, with this event and setting up, the one thing I did notice is the URL to a video.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I see that as a massive advantage.
Yeah.
And is it possible to schedule regular events to a URL video that you have set up already on YouTube? So therefore, now your event itself will be automatically ran by the video that you've had pre-recorded and put up on YouTube.
Yes, and that's what I've done. So because I do presentations every Thursday for the travel business.
Yeah.
I've got a YouTube video on there, and it's just like I think it's about 7 minutes long or something like that. It's a standard presentation, so I have that link in it, and because it's a recurring event, I don't need to keep putting it in. It's already been put in there. So if anyone was to click on that Eventbrite instance that I've got,
yeah,
they can click on that YouTube to watch it. Yeah, but yeah,
so all right, now thing is, I'm looking at how to best automate this business so that part of it run automatically all the time, and you're just basically collecting the numbers. You're basically betting people, you're bringing them in, and you're now validating them through getting us the right source of information. Once they've got that, you then your job is basically just to put the nail in the coffin of every single person that comes out the back end of the video.
Yeah.
And can there be a process set up to catch those people at the end too?
Yeah, so you can do it in a combination of ways. So for example, I think we'll come to it. There's an option in here. So by default in Eventbrite, it will always capture, when someone registers, it will always capture their email address.
Yeah.
But you can, I think we'll come to it at some point, you can require more information.
Okay.
Within Eventbrite. But one thing I've learned from attending various things in the past, the more information you request, the more likely you're going to get a drop off, because people don't necessarily want to pass on too much information. So when you start asking for like addresses and phone numbers and things like that, that's no thanks. It's
just that, do you know how our presentation with the Planet Marketing
it
leads us all up to somebody then making a decision? No, it's not for me. Yes, this is, let's go ahead, or like I have questions. Can you put those options at the end of your presentation for people to jump on either one? So you almost can quickly validate. People can come in, come out, and you've got about stats on the outcome of every event, how many drop-offs you have, how many people say yes, how many people say they want questions, how many people say, yeah, I'm definitely going ahead with this business.
I haven't gone that granular, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a way to monitor that. So the only thing that I've monitored so far is who has registered through the Eventbrite link.
Yeah.
As long as they used it, and because you're using Zoom, you can choose which link you give to people. So you can either give them the Eventbrite link, or you can give them the Zoom link. And as you probably know, even within the Zoom, when you set up your Zoom link, you can choose whether you require someone to register or not.
Yes.
So it's up to you how you want to monitor it. So you can make them register through Eventbrite or Zoom. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it does actually.
Well, partially anyway. Yeah.
I'm looking at the whole idea and I'm thinking, there's a way of building this properly, and there's a couple of people I'm following and a couple of people that are building these automated, already ran Planet marketing sides of the business.
Yeah.
And I believe we can come together and actually figure out how we can actually fully get this automated, set it up, and then we have our live events, which are like upsell to the video.
Yeah. It's I'm pretty sure it's do. I mean, that's how Eventbrite and Zoom are designed. It's just down to, and it's transferable to any business. So if anyone here is listening on Facebook, it's what Frederick's asking. It can be applicable to any business. Yeah. So, but like I said, it's maybe because it's relatively early days for me, I'm not trying to capture too much information just yet. So I'm fine with just the email address for now. But yes, it's definitely something that can be more automated over time. And there's various things going on. So we've actually got, I don't know if you've seen the actual flyer that we've got. So this event that Devon's doing on the 29th, we've got a couple of marketing experts that are going to be there as well. So they would, they've got strategies in place that you can actually be pretty automated in the systems that you use. So yeah. Okay, so let me go back to the demonstration. So we're now at the ticket stage. So I'm just going to go through that stage again. Do you have any questions, Devon?
No, I'm listening.
Cool. Right. Okay. So let's just say so I'm basically doing what we did already. So let's just say it's 10 tickets. Don't forget to always remember to set the end time to be after the event starts. Otherwise, latecomers won't be able to attend. Making it free. You've got this option here to make it visible or invisible. So I played around with this before, and I was thinking, I was clicking, do I click on that to hide the number of tickets visible? But what that does, it actually stops the availability to sell tickets. So what that can be a way of publishing an event, but not showing ticket availability until you feel comfortable making that available to people. So that's an option. So you can publicize it, but it won't show how many tickets are available when you choose the hidden option. So in this instance, I'm going to show visible. Like last time, this confirms that it's an online event only. And because of that, the e-ticket option is grayed out because it's chosen by default. I click on save. And so you see here, there's 10 tickets. And as I said before, you've always got the option of editing the capacity. So you can change that from 10 to 50. So that's on event capacity. But as far as the people looking at your event, they can only see 10. So depending on how popular it's turning out to be, you can edit that accordingly over time. So I can now click on next. So, right, so we're now at the last stage. As before, we've got the option to do a preview to see how it looks. And if we're happy with the layout, we can just close that. And this was this preview attendee event page. This one is, I think this is an admin view. Yeah, that's just another view. Not quite sure what this view is, but if I just go back to that. And if I'm happy with everything, I then just click on publish, and then my event is published, which obviously I'm not going to do because this is just a demo. But if I click on events on the left, that can show the upcoming events that I've already got, including the one that you've invited to me to on the 29th of July. And that's basically it. Yeah, so we've been going on for a little while, so maybe we can do a Canva specific Zoom another time. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your Sunday, but hopefully that gives you enough information in terms of Eventbrite for now. It should be enough to at least get you going, and you know, you can definitely learn more features as you play. No, you learn more the more you play with something. So yeah, if any of you have any questions at this point, if not, I can end the recording. Okay, right. So I'm going to end the recording and cut the link to Facebook. Stop live stream.